show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Drop Zone, brought to you by our partners in Doobie. And once again, we have our boys Anthony Young and Jeff Walsh. How are you doing today, buddy?
Pretty good. It's been a long week already. Easter was Sunday, so I hope you and all of our viewers had a happy Easter, happy safe Easter. How are you doing?
A little sore. I have physical therapy again today, but other than that, not too bad.
That's
And
good.
of course, go figure. We had like almost a month straight of having the stream on Facebook working perfectly fine, and today is not working.
Mm-hmm. That one is always gonna give us issues no matter what. I told you we have everything go smooth.
Well, at least we had a month straight off it working perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so what we got for today?
Very small. It'll probably be a very small episode today. We got the March Madness ending of who won on the men and women's side. A little bit of NBA news, and then just a little bit NFL news. Not not much, but some interesting stuff, some confusing stuff. Uh, but yeah, again, we're gonna definitely make it about as entertaining as possible. So we're gonna get right into the March Madness and Michigan. My Michigan Wolverines won the national championship against UConn, 69-63. This was a very amazing game. It really was. It was highly competitive, back and forth. Two very just well coached teams going at it. Congrats to Michigan, all the players, all the staff, all the coaches involved, because they earned it. They deserved it. SCMA is one of the better college head coaches that I've seen in a very long time. Take this Michigan team, who was not that great just a few years ago, to win a national title. So again, congrats to Michigan and UConn for making it as far. I don't think a lot of people had UConn making it this far, but it was an amazing game to watch, and again, I'm glad that my Michigan Wolverines came out on top.
Um, yeah, I was kind of shocked that actually for who was in the final for the finals to begin with. I wasn't expecting UConn. Hey Brian, I wasn't expecting UConn, but once we seen Duke got eliminated, we knew that it wasn't going to be Duke or St. John's or. But yeah, I gotta agree with you. A couple years ago, Michigan was just struggling, and now all of a sudden they're basically into won the national title.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, hail to the victors. So, um, but yeah, it was a good game. It was a lot closer than I expected. So yeah, I mean, I got nothing but praise for Michigan because I live in Michigan, so I kind of have to root for them.
Huh.
But yeah,
And then on the women's side, UCLA destroyed South Carolina 51-79 to win their national championship. Not gonna hold you. Didn't watch the game. Didn't watch any of the women's games. Um, but I feel like I should mention it. Again, congrats to UCLA and South Carolina for making it as far. But I'm a bit shocked about how lopsided it was because South Carolina is a very well coached team. But I guess UCLA just got hot and couldn't slow them down. Couldn't find a way to slow down the UCLA Maroons. Congrats to them. But again, I ain't got much more on that. I'm not gonna act like I sat there and watched the game or any of the games of the women's side, but I thought I should mention it anyway.
Yeah, I didn't watch any of the women's tournaments games either as well. Only thing I know was that um, there was an instance between Gino, your I can never pronounce his damn last name, but the head coach from UConn women's basketball team,
hmm
and Dawn Staley,
Yeah, I
um,
saw that one too.
which was the only thing that caught my attention with the women's uh, March Madness going on for them. So, but yeah,
Yeah, I saw that one. I was gonna talk about it here. It didn't really need to be talked about. I mean, it could have been my dummy of the week. I don't really have one this week. I mean, that could be honorable mention. That was something again for Gino Ariamna or whatever again, however you say his last name. That could have been taken care of privately. There was no need to do that in the middle or towards the end of the game. You know, when South Carolina was celebrating, and then it caused a whole scene. Uh, and it just wasn't a good look for either, mostly him, but for either coach. Don Staley and him is one of the most. They are some of the most respected women's college basketball head coaches in the world. So for that to happen on that stage was a little bit embarrassing. He issued an apology, which never mentioned Don Staley's name in the apology, which I think was a bit weak. If you're gonna, I mean, you don't need to apologize to the South Carolina staff and like the school. You need to apologize right to Don Staley uh, for doing what you did. Again, you could have done it in locker room, being like, hey, you didn't shake my hand the second time I was standing there waiting for a while. I felt a bit disrespected. Um, but he didn't. He didn't do that. So again, that I mean, I wanted to talk about it. I was like, I don't know if we really should or if we needed to, but we did anyway. That's all right. Again, I thought it was very stupid and just kind of a bit selfish on the part of Gino's part. I mean, he's one of the most respected head coaches in women's college basketball history, and for him to that was a bit shocking and a bit unlike him and the side of his character.
well, not only that, it actually looked more bad towards him than Staley. For the simple fact is, you're a full grown man coming after a female.
hmm
I mean, like I get, I understand. You felt disrespected because she didn't shake your hand and stuff like that. And I agree with you. That should have been something that should have been handled off the court. Back he could have went to the locker room, knocked on the door, and said, "Hey, can I speak to you for a minute?" and express how he felt about it. Doing it on the court in front of national TV really made him look really bad. And I hold a lot of respect for Gino because I mean he's the greatest women's coach in Connecticut, UConn's history, and for him to basically stoop that low didn't look real good for him at all. And yeah, it wasn't too good on Staley's part as well. But he just looked more worse because of the fact that you're a grown man again coming after a female.
I'm not really blaming Don Staley. I'm really not, like, because again, it is him going after her. Um, her emotions were high. She was winning the game to move on to the national championship for the second year in a row, which they lost last year as well. But it again, it's just something that could have been handled behind the the viewer's eyes. All right, like it didn't need to be handled on the stage that it was handled on, and I hope it doesn't tarnish Gino's legacy because it is like again he's one of the best women's head coaches. Like if I know about him and he's a women's head coach, then that's saying something because he's had nothing but success at UConn. So um, again, it's a learning curve, but again, to me, he's too experienced. He's too much of a veteran coach to let that happen. So hopefully, it just never happens again because again, there was no need for it. To me, there was no need for it. No matter how disrespected you felt, uh, you could have done that after the game, after they were done celebrating.
And again,
Their win.
I understand. Emotions are high because on both sides. Because UConn lost and stuff like that. But at the same time, I mean, you still got to get your emotions in check. And like I said, for for it to be a grown man coming after a woman just did not look good on his part.
I don't
And
know.
I
It
agree with
didn't.
you. Hopefully, this doesn't stain his legacy. But like I said, it just no matter how you look at it, it just still looks bad on his part by just for the fact that like I said, it's a grown man coming after a female.
Again, just he better not let it happen again. He learns just do it after the game, so the public eye can't see it. Now on to NBA. A lot of kind of just injury news, and again, this whole 65 game threshold is a bit. It's a bit annoying, and it's a bit stupid to me at this point. I understand they're trying to keep rules as rules, but Victor Wembanyama, he got injured Monday against Philadelphia due to a rib contusion. It did not return. He must play in at least one of their remaining three games and at least 20 minutes in that said game to be eligible for end of season awards. So if he does not play, he'll miss out on probably winning Defensive Player of the Year, which he's averaging on ungodly stats, like otherworldly stats for a defensive player of the year. So to me would be if I had a vote in it, he would be my unanimous pick for that award. And he can't make any All NBA teams if he does not play. This guy has brought this Spurs team again with the help of all the other young pieces back to the number two seed in the West after kind of being the laughing stock for the past few years. Um, yeah, I just think this rule is stupid. And it's just sad that again, Cade might be back in time. He has to play. Or he won't make it anyway because they only have about 2 or 3 games left. He's only played 61 games. Most recently, Luka Doncic, he got injured with the left hamstring strain. He's out for the rest of the season. He's played 64 games. He's one shy of the eligibility. He's the scoring leader right now in the NBA. He's averaging about 33 points per game. Jokic is the same way. He's looking like he's going to make the threshold, but he needs to play at least 2 of the remaining 3 games and 15 minutes in each of those games as well. I understand the rule. I do. But there has to be some kind of exception sometimes. Luka missed a few games because of the birth of his son or his kid. Like that has to be an exception. The Cade Cunningham injury has to be an exception. I just don't know how to fix it. I understand they're doing what the rules are rules and they have them in place for a reason. But this is again like if there's a few guys I was watching a video this morning on Get Up. There's a few guys that are like crazy that they won't even like be eligible for any awards, any All NBA teams. Ant Edwards won't be available for any of them. Um, Cade, Luca can't now, and if Victor doesn't play, he won't. But yeah, something's got to fix. I mean, I don't know if you have any ideas or any thoughts on this, but that's just a lot of the NBA news. Is just this stupid 65 game rule and the injuries that have happened now, and now these players are ineligible for the awards, which I think is stupid and a bit sad.
Um, I'm kind of on the fence on this one because I do get why they implemented the rule, because in the past we had players not even play barely half the season and win awards. So I do get it. I mean, it is the first year for the rule, if I'm not mistaken. So I mean, I'm looking at it as okay. This is the first year that they implemented rule. You know, Nobody really knew what to expect. Yes, everybody knew they had to play at least 65 games to be eligible for any type of an award. Um, but at the same time, we also know that in the NBA, you do get a lot of late season injuries, and it's very. I don't know. I can't come up with a way to fix this situation. Um, the only thing I could think of would be to just do away with load management. Period. Because I have a feeling load management is having a part in this because of the fact that the data shows that players are actually getting more injured with load management than they were when we didn't have load management. So maybe just do away with load management and go back to, hey, if you could walk, you could play, which is how it should be. I mean, these guys are making now in the excess of $100 million, and you need to be on the court. Now, if you have a serious injury, I get it. Okay, that's fine. But you know, you got players sitting out because they hurt their pinky. Okay, how many times have we seen Kobe Bean Bryant, God rest his soul, you know, jam his finger, go over to the sideline, have the doctor pop it back in place, and he's right back on the court. I mean, we've seen him, tear his Achilles, you know, go back on the court, shoot his free throws, and walked off. Now, I'm not saying everybody needs to be like Kobe Bryant because there's only one Kobe. But my thing is, we got players that are sitting out for little things that really is not going to affect them in a game, or because they want to have the little bit of time off. And I'm sorry, but with the prices of tickets nowadays, yeah, I will kind of be pissed if I took my kid and spent all that money to see their favorite player and to come to find out he's sitting down because he has a little boo boo.
Yeah, there's again to me there's got to be exceptions, like a serious injury like that Kate Cunningham won at 61 games. He's pretty much the biggest reason why they are that on one seed in the East, the best success story. If I had to vote, he would probably be my MVP this year, just based off of how they played. Luke would be a close second. He can't even be eligible for it. Yeah, like last night, if I was a Lakers fan and I was going to see the Thunder and Lakers game, Luka was out. All right, it's a serious hamstring strain.
which
Austin
is
Reeves is out.
understandable.
Austin Reeves is out for 4 to 6 weeks with a very serious oblique injury. Understandable.
Understandable.
LeBron James then got added to the injury report and will be out, or he was out this past game against the Thunder last night.
With
Magically.
what with what imaginary injury?
I don't remember what it was.
Exactly.
So, and his amazing son, in about 23 minutes, had 4 points on 2 of 9 shooting and 0 of 5 from the field, but he's a good player, though. I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to rant on it more than I already have. Um, Save that one for a different time, a different day. Um, Again, there's got to be something. I mean, unless we go by like minutes played, that's the only way to change it.
That would be a
Um,
good idea.
just go by minutes played, who has the most minutes played, and like just get rid of that. Um, but I don't know. I don't know. It's a tough thing. I think this is his second year in going and running it. So again, there's ways to fix it, but again, if some of these star players can't even make all NBA teams because there's bonuses in their contract to make like all NBA get an award or something, and if they're getting seriously injured and they have no choice or they can't control it, I don't know, to me, there's got to be at least a little bit of an exception to the rule, in certain cases or in certain situations. Um, on Monday, Chicago dismissed their executive vice president of basketball operations, Arthurius Karnisovis. I butchered that name so bad, but I don't really care. And GM Mark Eversley, uh, since hiring Karnisovis in 2020, the Bulls went 222 and 254, only one playoff appearance, and this is now their fourth straight season without making the playoffs. I don't just like I just mentioned it. And Bulls have kind of just they had a good team. You know, they had DeMar and Zach LaVine and Vucevic, and thought they were gonna do something. They had Lonzo Ball to point too, but I don't really know what's going on there. You know, just they just kind of got rid of LaVine and DeRozan. And they're kind of just starting from scratch again. They heard of Vucevic this past uh, trade line as well. So they got to figure it out, and I guess they need to just get some new faces there in the front office, and get a new identity going. I don't know if you have any on that. I just wanted to mention it because it was some GM and stuff firing.
Oh, we're going to be hitting the stage where we're going to be seeing a lot of job openings in the NBA.
Yeah, so everyone's waiting. Everyone's waiting for the season to end. Also on Monday, North Carolina plans to sign former Denver head coach Michael Malone to be their next head coach for their college basketball team. This is a very interesting signing or hiring for them. Michael Malone, he's been doing a good job uh, on TV for the pregame shows and everything, announcing. Um, so yeah, after only about a season out of a coaching job, he lands one in college now. With a very storied French or with a very storied college team. Um, he was very good this past year, so Michael Malone, they have a good chance again. Again, it brings just a great basketball mind into that locker room and coaching staff and players that did well this even past year. So I think this North Carolina team will be a force to reckon with in next year, just because of Michael Malone. So I think that this is a very smart hiring and a good hiring for them.
Yeah, I agree that was a very smart hire. Um, I didn't realize he was only out of a job for a year. I thought it was longer than that. I thought it was about two. I thought it was 2 years, but You're the statistician. You're usually right about that. So, but yeah, I mean, like I said, it was a great hire for them. I'm going to be interested to see, what he does with that program and to see how well if he turns that program into a extreme powerhouse.
I think he will. I believe it's only a year he's been out of a job because I've only remember seeing his face like this year on the pregame shows and hearing his voice announcing games. So I believe it's only been a year because or like a year and a half because then they fired him halfway through last season. So um, yeah. The only little bit of news is that the Bucks and Milwaukee star Giannis Antetokounmpo they're under investigation of the NBA players' participation policy. Giannis said back in March he's ready to play, and Milwaukee said no, well, we're not letting you play. But now Milwaukee's saying that towards the end of March, they told him to come and participate in 3-on-3 scrimmages, and he declined it and never showed up. So the NBA is doing an investigation of what really happened. This is just kind of a sad ending to how this relationship is going to happen and play out. It's been another just disappointing year for the Bucks, with the injury to Giannis and just how it kind of just has derailed the entire team in the whole season. It's a very weird situation. It's a very kind of shocking situation to me, and with being Giannis, who's always wanting to play. So if it is the Bucks really just holding him back and not letting him play, that'll definitely be interesting to see what the league does about that. And again, as far as Giannis in the offseason, what he'll want to do, as far as staying in Milwaukee, he said how much he likes it there. But yeah, after the amount he's been through there, I would think he probably wants out now. Um, but yeah, this is again to me just a bit shocking because again this is a team and a player that I didn't really expect this from. I expected Giannis is one of the toughest NBA players out there right now. He'll play through pretty much anything. So for them to say he's not doing what he needs to, but then he's saying that I'm trying to play and they're not letting me. As he said, she said right now, and I guess we'll wait for the NBA's investigation to conclude to see what's really going on.
Um, I'm pretty sure this is the Bucks' way of basically trying to force Giannis out of Milwaukee. I can understand, they're saying they're probably going to use the excuse, well, we're not. I don't even think they made the playoffs, did they?
No, they are making the playoffs.
So yeah, there's already their excuse for holding them out. Well, we didn't make the playoffs, so there's no need to put them on the floor and risk maybe further another injury or anything like that. Um, this whole relationship with Milwaukee has gone south. We've seen it start with Damian Lillard. You know how after he tore his Achilles, how they treated him and basically just dropped him like a bad habit. And then we seen like halfway through the season, all the trade rumors involving Giannis. So I'm pretty sure this is Milwaukee way of saying we can preserve him, make sure his trade value is real high, and we could get what we want for him. It's the only way because yeah, I'm with you. I don't see Giannis saying I'm not going to go. I'm not going to play. He doesn't
No,
come off as that type of player.
that's not his character. I mean, he's been unlike that for his whole career. He plays through a lot of injuries, so I can't imagine seeing him saying, "I'm not playing."
Exactly. Because there's been times when he's been hurt and he tries to get into the game and they won't let him. So all of a sudden now you're gonna sit there and say, "Oh, he doesn't want to play." That just that doesn't sound like him whatsoever. That sounds like you as an organization trying to make sure that he's 100% healthy and that you can get as much for him in a trade if that's what you're trying to do.
Yeah, I know we always say you gotta know these teams and coaches and stuff and trainers have to protect the player from themselves. But if the player is saying that they're ready to go and they want to play, that's a different story. Um, and especially with it being honest, you gotta let him just play. If he wants to play, and again, if he played in a few of the games, maybe they'll be in the play-in, but they didn't let him play at all in the final. I don't know however many games. Uh, Now on to NFL news. Surprisingly, Monday, your New York Football Giants defense tackle Dexter Lawrence has officially requested a trade from the Giants. He still has 2 years, $20 million left on his contract. This was shocking. This was absolutely stunning and surprising to me. You guys are finally looking up on your offense and on defense. And Dexter Lawrence, just because he hasn't gotten a new contract in the past 2 seasons, he wants to leave the Giants. I do want to hear your thoughts on this.
Um, this is a tough one because of the fact that you know we know how I feel about the Giants front office. They're basically really haven't done shit to really. I mean, they basically, the front office jobs is on the line as well. So, I mean, why would you not give your best defensive player a contract extension? That makes no sense to me. We can't blame John Harbaugh for this because this was going on before Harbaugh was even became the head coach of the Giants. This has been 2 years, and he's been trying to get an extension. And again, it doesn't make sense that you're not willing to give him an extension the same way like you wasn't willing to give Barkley an extension, but you was willing to give Daniel Jones an extension, and we seen how well that played out. So there's something going on in that front office where you know changes are going to need to be made. Hopefully, with Harbaugh as the head coach now, he does have some say as far as player movement goes. That he could talk Dexter Lawrence into staying and getting and manage to get him the extension he deserves. Because he is the, I mean, let's face it, he is the bulk of that defensive line. When he's not in the game, it's that defensive line is barely average. I mean, we seen this past season in that Lions overtime game where for some dumb reason they had Dexter Lawrence on the sideline, and the first play from scrimmage was Gibbs gone right where Dexter Lawrence would have been.
It's I get it a little bit from Lawrence's side. But dude, this is the best that the team's looked in years. Um, at a certain point, I understand you want to get paid and stuff, but let the team be successful, and then you can get paid. All right. Um, I understand. I get it. It's been a few years in the making. It's been a few very frustrating years, but you still have time and money on your contract. It's not like your contract is expiring now. You still have 2 years, 20 mil left. You can wait. You can just let the team be successful. Like you guys have, again, the best team that you guys have had in years. I understand he's one of the best defensive tackles in the league. You want to get paid like it, but your team needs some money to be able to get players to make the team successful. At a certain point, you will get your money. You just got to wait a little bit. Again, I'm on both sides. I understand why he's upset, and I understand the front office. Listen, we're trying to build a team here that is dominant and that can win a championship. We can't pay you right now because we're signing and we're getting all these other players. But just wait, just be patient. Just let us be successful first, and then we can pay you. So, um,
But
that's
here's
really
the
all I
thing
got.
with the extension. So the extension will be added to the end of the current contract. So they could actually use that extension to free up more money for the next 2 seasons by moving, some of his base salary from this season into the extension because that's what Pat Mahomes did.
Hmm.
So I mean, I can see why he's frustrated because for me that's what I'm thinking. I mean, we really can't basically know what he's actually thinking, but I can assume, that's the line I'm thinking he's taking. Hey, I want the extension so I can help free up money right now.
Yeah. Okay, it would be sad to see him go. Hopefully, Harbaugh can get him to stay and also get him the extension. Hopefully, that's what he said. If he hasn't said that to them, then maybe he should say that. If he just says, "I want an extension," not really giving a reason. I don't know. But Jacksonville, they extend they re-signed defensive end Trayvon Walker to a 4-year, $110 million, $77 million guaranteed, and $50 million signing bonus at extension. Uh, a much needed signing for them. One of the better defensive players. Moving on to April 2nd, 5-time Pro Bowl cornerback Stephon Gilmore. He announced his retirement. One of the best cornerbacks we had in the league. Wish him well in retirement. Now this one, this is our last little bit of news. The Las Vegas Raiders have signed quarterback Kirk Cousins to what is a 5-year, $170 million deal, but in reality is a 1-year, $20 million fully guaranteed deal, which contains a call option for 2 years, $80 million. Now let me finish. Falcons will pay $8.7 million this season. The Raiders will pay another $1.3 million. Las Vegas also agreed to pay its new QB a fully guaranteed $10 million roster bonus on the third day of the 2027 new league year. And most notably, it also sets another new mark. This will be the 11th straight NFL season in which Cousins' contract will be fully guaranteed, including the $10 million due next year. Kirk Cousins then will be at $341,469,288 in career NFL salary earnings. Of that, an all-time NFL high, 339 to 339 million. 369,288 was fully guaranteed, meaning 99% of Cousins' career NFL earnings will have been fully guaranteed. This doesn't make sense in the slightest to me. Raiders have the number 1 overall pick, which to me I would go with Mendoza. They're almost doing like what the Atlanta Falcons did. They got Cousins and they drafted Ritter. I don't get it at all. I understand you're getting on a bargain, on a deal, but to me, I just really don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't. I normally have more for things like this, but I'm just stunned, shocked. I don't know. I had none.
And this is why teams like Miami, Atlanta, um, I can't think of any other teams right now, but these are why teams like that will never win a Super Bowl because they're paying players who are no longer there, and instead of having money freed up to actually get players that you really need to have. Um, we talked about it earlier a couple of weeks ago when free agency started. That Miami has hit a record for dead cap money. When you got dead cap money like that, you cannot build a team. There he is.
Wait, there he is.
So yeah, like I said, those teams who are just signing these big contracts and then turning around getting rid of the player just is you're putting your team in a financial strain. They knew, especially Atlanta, they knew that they was going to draft Michael Penix. So why would you even offer a contract like that to Kirk Cousins, knowing you was going to draft a quarterback, knowing you was more likely was going to start that quarterback midway through the season, which is what they did. And now, because your stupidity, you're eating the rest of his contract. And for what? It was completely pointless.
What made it even more stupid is Kirk Cousins was coming off of an Achilles injury.
Yes, Falcons are known for choking.
Yep. It didn't make sense. He was coming off of an injury. He wasn't even fully healthy, and they paid him that much.
Exactly.
And now they're eating his cap hit every single year because of a stupid choice. And again, with the Raiders side, I don't get it. I don't understand this move very much. I understand she's going back with this old offensive coordinator, but
I mean,
again, I mean, maybe just some veteran leadership in the locker room. I don't know, but I wouldn't pay $20 million for fucking veteran leadership.
I mean, well, we got to look at who's in their quarterback room, which is pretty much nobody. You traded Geno Smith away, which probably was the smartest thing to do because I feel like Geno Smith is basically washed up. Um, and for some dumb reason, the Jets feel that they could, revive his career. We don't see that happening. I would say Matt Ryan left Atlanta with a much worse rep than before him. How often can one franchise QB destroy the rep of one franchise? A Hall of Fame caliber one at that. Yeah, I gotta agree with that. I mean, uh, just quarterbacks going that's in Atlanta are just getting just destroyed because Atlanta has no idea what they're doing. They don't know how to run their team right. You know, you, yeah. I just really can't deal with Atlanta. It's just yeah.
Okay, they have a lot of good young pieces, but I don't know. They're not fully meshing together. It could be coaching. So I mean, and they got a new one, so maybe that's what it's gonna take. I don't know.
Ryan left Atlanta known as the choking franchise.
Hmm.
Yeah, well, I mean, in a Super Bowl, and you're winning, what was it, 28 to 3,
Hmm.
and you lose a Super Bowl? Yeah.
You deserve that name.
He even brought it to the Colts and managed to get us in the record books for the biggest comeback in history. I mean, Matty Ice was a good quarterback.
Hmm.
He just
He couldn't get none of the big games.
no.
So a lot of quarterbacks I
And
would pick over him.
and honestly, that Super Bowl, I'm not even blaming Matt Ryan for that. That's the coaching job because all you really got to do is just fucking run the ball and you win the Super Bowl.
The coaching, the defensive coaching. I mean, I understand Tom Brady's the greatest all the time. Yeah, when the Colts were up 33-0 on Minnesota and they blew it. Yep.
Yep.
So Mighty Ice is your QB again, but that falls back on the defense as well and the coaching in those situations as well, not just on the QB. I understand that the QB is like the failure of the team, but it also does come down to coaching on both sides of the ball.
And like I said, all they had to do was just run the ball. You got the lead. You got the game in hand. Yes, I understand, they really couldn't run as much, but still, when you run the ball, guess what happens? The clock doesn't stop.
Yep, it just keeps on ticking.
Unless the running back dumbass runs out of bounds.
Hmm.
I take Matt Ryan back over Anthony Richardson.
We know you would. We know you would, Jay.
uh, they had a really good running back at that time too, wasn't it? Like, yes, it was the Deontay Freeman.
Hmm. Yeah, one of the better running backs in the league, and I don't know why they just didn't run it.
Well, I mean, if we think about it, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't one of the coaching staffs originally from Seattle where they did the same thing instead of running Marshawn Lynch on the 1 yard line and decided to go with Russell Wilson to pass the ball? If I'm not mistaken, I think that was the head coach. He was a offensive coordinator that became the head coach of Atlanta.
I don't know.
I'm gonna have to look that up real quick.
But again, it would have been the boring way to win, so they had to make it interesting or anything. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. Um, to why you just don't run the ball, but run the ball, keep the clock moving. So there's a lot of variables to that collapse from the Falcons. Ever since then, they have been known as the token franchise. Um, I think it was Dan Quinn. I
Dan
maybe.
Quinn. It
Mm,
was Dan Quinn.
yeah. So, um, yeah, Jay. I mean, you caught us. That was our last topic. Was Kirk Cousins. So you feel free to comment anything else. And we could talk about it. But we ain't got nothing else. We got through everything else. He came on the last one.
Well, I know Jay would be happy if this goes through. That Green Bay is trying to get Anthony Richardson from the Colts.
Hmm.
Yes, the Spurs hit 60 wins.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit.
Not anything. Let it be sports related, Jay. You can't comment just anything. It better be sports related. Because if you
Remember,
separate on topic, I'm going back to bed.
remember, we are on national airwaves now too, so you gotta somewhat behave.
Yeah, you gotta behave. I'm just waiting. Just gonna be. If he gets on, if he gets off topic, I'm ending it and going back to bed.
Yes, I know it's hard. Well, we have to behave.
Behave, yes.
There are things we have to
Talk.
stay in compliance with.
We have to be professional-ish. Um, I say ish because
Yeah, we know that really doesn't stick well for us.
no,
Not so much the sponsors, but we have to stay with compliance with Apple Podcasts and stuff like that.
I don't know if he's asking if we did them or like if that's why we have to be.
I think he's asking if that's why we have to be. I know we've been getting a lot of viewers on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
which is good. I'm glad it's going up. Hopefully they hit that subscribe button and like button as well.
I hope so. Again, if you're watching, like, subscribe, comment. Just hey is fine. You don't gotta talk about anything.
I'm
Just a
waiting for
hello
my
is fine.
favorite sponsor. I'm almost scared to
Oh
ask.
no, I know what sponsor it is. It's Doobie, but you know what he calls it.
Oh yeah. Actually, that's about to come up in a few seconds. I'm just checking something real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's give Jay what he's been waiting for. The advertisement that Jay loves. Warning: your current energy drink is about to get replaced. Here we go. Meet Doobie, the clean, jitter-free fuel built for gamers, grinders, and anyone who refuses to run on empty. No crash, no sugar overload, just laser focused, smooth energy, and straight up performance. You don't sip Doobie, you level up with it. So ask yourself, are you still playing on a low energy? Are you ready to unlock the full power? Grab your Doobie, unlock it, and dominate. Yes, Big Doobie Energy for grinders.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Again, Doobie's been sponsoring us for I don't know how long, a few months now. And we appreciate it. They haven't dropped
This
us yet. We
is,
haven't said anything.
I
We
want
haven't
to
said
say,
anything
since
too
the
crazy.
end of the summer.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's been a while. Again, we can thank Tony for that because he is the businessman of the two of us. I'm the I'm the nerd. I'm the inside guy of how to get all the stats and stuff and reports. But yep, do be any energy for for grinders. Again, a lot of good flavors. Nice cups that they have as well. So again, go over there and use our code DropZone for 10% off your order.
I think that's pretty much about it. There hasn't been much going on. We do got the NFL draft coming up towards the end of the month.
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
they keep
that.
the biggest they have, I believe, is I want to say a 64 ounce, maybe a 32 ounce. But they also have a stainless steel one now as well, which will help keep your drinks a lot colder.
I was worried where that question was going.
I'm hoping that's what he meant. Oh, shit. Oh. No, not that cup. Of course not, Jay. When are you coming back on the air, by the way, Jason?
Oh, wow. That the next comment he just put is, bro.
Yeah, we're not.
We're putting that one up on the screen.
No, we're not putting that one up on the screen.
Nope.
Ugh. Yeah. For those of you who will listen to this later on any of the podcast channels, yeah, that one's one of those we will not be putting up, so there's no need to ask about it. If you want to know, just leave us a message on the podcast, and I'll get back to you.
Hmm. Yeah, we're putting that one up on the screen. That's why I was worried where it was going with that question.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to.
Yeah, pretty much. As soon as he joins, just fucking pop it up on the screen.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get one of those ready. Disclaimers.
Like a warning. Warning. Jason's here. Because that was wild. I knew that's where that was going.
I actually thought he was gonna keep it clean. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking.
I know that never happens. I don't have a dummy of the week this week. I mean, it was. I mean, yeah, I thought it was honorable mention. It was Gino Ariella, or however you say his name, for the UConn's women's head coach, getting into it with the women's head coach from South Carolina. Um, that was my dummy of the week, but it was kind of honorable mention. I didn't have anybody.
No, you're the one with the dirty mind.
Yeah, yeah, you went right to that place. It actually wasn't a woman. It was a man this time. So it wasn't a woman. It was a guy. Okay, he coaches women's basketball.
You'll have to go back and rewatch it.
Hmm.
No, we're not assuming.
We're getting down the rabbit hole with him already. We're getting down the rabbit hole.
Yeah. All right. I think it's time to end this.
Yeah, he's being kind of
We'll see everybody next week.
Yeah, have a good week, everybody. Bye, Jay.